In November of 2021, the Nuclear Threat Initiative, co-founded by Ted Turner, the likely primary architect of the Georgia Guidestones and depopulation agendist, published a paper titled Strengthening Global Systems to Prevent and Respond to High-Consequence Biological Threats. Sounds innocent enough. The publication illustrates a biological weapon release. Quote, the exercise scenario portrayed a global involving an unusual strain of monkeypox virus that emerged in the fictional nation of Brinia and spread globally over 18 months. Later in the exercise, it's revealed that, quote, the initial outbreak was caused by a attack using a pathogen engineered in a laboratory. The attack is said to take place on May 15, 2022. The exact same week cases were announced by the mainstream media earlier this month. The released bioweapon is exactly what Ted Turner's friend and fellow Good Club member Bill Gates spoke about on CBS with Stephen Colbert.
The idea of a bio attack is kind of the nightmare scenario. Most of the work we're going to do to be ready for pandemic 2, I call this pandemic 1. Most of the work we'll do to be ready for that are also the things we need to do to minimize the threat of bio.
Was this all predictive programming? In February of 2022, Virologica Sinica published a gain-of-function research project performed by scientists at the Institute of Virology, all the way back in August of 2021. In this report, the lab assembled a monkeypox genome. Then, scientists developed PCR tests that can identify their own synthesized monkeypox viruses. In short, they produced monkeypox and monkeypox PCR tests. Are they preparing number 2, the monkeypox 22 sequel to... The paper says that the monkeypox virus, quote, is more pathogenic and has been reported to infect humans in various parts of the world. So in November of 2021, the non-profit NTI announced the exact year, month, and week of a monkeypox outbreak. And in August of that same year, the Wuhan Biolab was preparing genomes and PCR tests for monkeypox? Could this second be any more obvious? Well, it turns out that it could. In 2017, the same organization through which Peter Daszak funded the gain-of-function research for the lab in Wuhan, China, on behalf of Fauci and the NIH, EcoHealth Alliance, laid out what a monkeypox virus outbreak would look like in the United States and around the world. Rather than blaming gain-of-function research, the obvious culprit, and the same methods that a biotech would use, the EcoHealth document concludes by pointing the finger at general, quote, human activities for the spread and emergence of zoonotic diseases. Why not blame the obvious human activities, such as playing God with infectious diseases and geoengineering pathogens for so-called preparedness? How deep does the preparation actually go? And what is it for? To save society from or destroy it? Either way, new vaccines are being prepared for this potential and have been in development for years. Another massive money-making operation, just like PCR tests. So just as with when people all around you start taking their shots, don't monkey see, monkey do. Do your research, monkey. Pray and prepare for the worst, just in case something extremely really has been released into the public. May God help us all. On April 26th, China recorded the first human infection with H3N8, a new strain of the bird flu. According to China's health authority, a 4-year-old boy in contact with chickens and crows raised at his home was found to be infected after developing a fever and other symptoms on April 5th. This particular strain of the bird flu has been found in horses, dogs, birds, and even seals. But this was the first human infection. In the United States, as of early April 2022, an outbreak of a highly contagious bird flu has accounted for the 23 million birds from Maine to Wyoming, chickens and turkeys mainly, who were than an act of precaution, but no human infections have been reported so far. Almost a year ago, in June of 2021, a 41-year-old man in eastern China was confirmed to have H10N3, another bird flu strain, and he was also the first case. However, the last major human epidemic of bird flu was in China from 2016 to 2017 with the H7N9 virus. It infected almost 2,000 people and more than 600, according to the United Nations statistics. And based on the World Health Organization's research, in 2018, the H7N9 bird flu was reported to kill more than 40% of those who contracted it in China, causing a news cycle of global panic, just about 2 years before the massive corporate media and world governments' overreaction to Later that year, back in 2018, the World Health Organization decided to name the possible emergence of a new bird flu strain Disease X, a term used for years to refer to any number of unknown future pathogens that could cause an international health crisis, X simply meaning that it's unexpected. In 2017, during China's bird flu epidemic, Bill Gates was well aware of the H7N9 outbreak, as he spoke often about the possibility of At a security conference in Germany, he said, quote,
"Whether it occurs by the quirk of nature or at the hand of epidemiologists show through their models that a respiratory spread pathogen would kill 30 million people in less than a year. And there is a reasonable probability of that taking place in the years ahead."
Less than 3 years later, began. And according to Bill Gates' own statements before, a small non-state actor could build a contagious disease in a biolab. So is the new breakout of bird flu in China, the H3N8 strain, the disease X the WHO has been waiting for? And was it built in a biolab as Bill Gates predicted with Stephen Colbert?
You tried to warn us about this, and we didn't listen. What's the next thing you're warning us about that's going to happen 5 years from now that we're not listening to at present?
The idea of a bio attack is kind of the nightmare scenario because they're a pathogen with a high death rate would be picked. Now the good news is, I'm not trying to depress you, it's tough enough
Too late.
right now.
Too late.
Most of the work we're going to do to be ready for two, I call this one, most of the work we'll do to be ready for that are also the things we need to do to minimize the threat of bio.
Perhaps the New World Order will blame Russia for releasing some sort of bird flu bio.
We've heard President Biden has warned there are clear signs Russia is preparing to use chemical and biological weapons in Ukraine.
Now he's talking about new false flags he's setting up, including he's asserting that we, America, have biological as well as chemical in Europe. Simply not true. I guarantee you. They're also suggesting that Ukraine has biological and chemical in Ukraine. That's a clear sign he's considering using both of those.